Hello there, very good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News here on News First, where the people come first. You're joining me, Naveksha Gunasekar, and we start off by taking a look at your headlines.
UN report urges progress on accountability and security sector reforms. Poor countries need a strong banking sector, says the IMF chief. Report of the Political Victimization Commission void.
දැම්මම දැනගන්න කැමති වර්තමාන ජනාධිපතිවරයාගෙන් මෙම හිටපු ජනාධිපතිවරයාගේ මෙම කොමිස් සභා වාර්තාව ගැන ගන්නේ කුමක්ද කියලා.
ඒවා තවදුරටත් නොපවතින බැවින් මේ අධීරයේදී එකී කොමිෂන් සභා දෙක ප්‍රත්‍යධිෂ්ඨ කිරීමක් පැන නොනගින බවයි. ඒක අවශ්‍ය වෙලා තියෙන්නේ.
දැන් මේ ඔක්කොම කළා අන්තිමට කියනවා මේක නීතියක් නැතුව මේක ඉවරයි කියලා.
Harsha De Silva says that the Social Security Contribution Levy Bill is flawed.
මම ප්‍රශ්න අහනකම් පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ කවුරුත් මේක දන්නෙත් නැහැ මුදල් අමාත්‍යාංශය දන්නෙත් නැහැ දවසක් තිස්සේ මේක මෙතන තිබිලා තියෙනවා මේක හරියම අකාර්යක්ෂමයි කොහොමද මේම වුනේ
2 new death traps emerged in Kurunegala. Sri Lanka moves forward in the Asia Cup.
In your top story, the United Nations stated that Sri Lanka's new government should embark on a national dialogue to advance human rights and reconciliation. The report is calling for accountability and deeper institutional reforms to prevent a recurrence of past violations.
The United Nations report acknowledges that Sri Lanka is at a critical juncture in its political life and is in the midst of a serious economic crisis which has severely impacted the human rights of all communities and people of all walks of life. The report calls on the government to immediately end the reliance on draconian security laws and crackdowns on peaceful protest, reverse the drift towards militarization and show renewed commitment to and deliver on security sector reform and ending impunity. The report urges the new government to relaunch a comprehensive and victim-centered strategy on transitional justice and accountability with a time-bound plan to implement outstanding commitments, including taking steps in relation to the establishment of a credible truth-seeking mechanism and an ad hoc special court. Expressing concern about the lack of progress to establish the truth about the Easter Sunday bombings in 2019, the report also calls for a follow-up, independent and transparent investigation with international assistance and the full participation of victims and their representatives to pursue further lines of inquiry. In the absence of progress towards accountability at the national level, the report urges other states to cooperate in accountability efforts, including by using available avenues of extraterritorial and universal jurisdiction to investigate and prosecute crimes under international law committed in Sri Lanka. Additionally, the report urges states to explore further measures targeting those who are credibly alleged to have been responsible for gross violations and abusers of international human rights law or serious violations of international humanitarian law. The report outlines the progress of the OHCHR work on accountability pursuant to Council Resolution 46/1 and calls for reinforcement of its capacity.
IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva says that Sri Lanka is among the countries where the debt situation is no longer sustainable. She was speaking at the Africa Adaptation Summit at the Global Center on Adaptations in the Netherlands.
So Amina's call on us to embrace that hope of humanity coming together in the most testing moments. This is what I do from my heart endorse. We are also recognizing that these shocks have exhausted our people. People are tired of the pandemic and now they're hit a second time with inflation. In many countries, the fiscal space is gone. When you look at the debt situation for 25% of emerging markets, that is no more sustainable. Just think of Sri Lanka and many countries that are in this position. Actually, we see a country, a strong economy with strong fundamentals like Ghana in a situation in which it is harder to tap into markets because of these exogenous shocks. And for poor countries, it is over 60% that are in that distress. So when I look at this picture, what is the conclusion? No more we can think of our economies as relatively simple mechanisms in which, as long as we have the banking sector and financial stability, they function. Remember, after the 2009 crisis, we did something very wise. We regulated the banking sector. It is now more resilient. But that concept of resilience has to expand to be a comprehensive one. We need resilient people that are educated, that are healthy, and have sound social protection under their feet. We need not just resilient economies, we need resilient societies in which people feel that they belong, that there is fairness, that there are jobs for them. And we need our resilient planet.
U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has assured support for the process of restructure in Sri Lanka's debt. The President's Media Division said the U.S. Treasury Secretary had also extended support to extend the financing assurances consistent with the Paris Club principles. In addition, she had extended support to engage with the World Bank, Asian Development Bank and U.S. agencies. Moving on to more local news, President Ranil Wickremesinghe has congratulated the released Truss on being elected as the leader of the Conservative Party and the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe extending his congratulations to the newly elected Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, added that Sri Lanka and the United Kingdom enjoy long-lasting friendly relations bound by a shared history. President Wickremesinghe added that he anticipates further strengthening of the relationship with the UK, particularly in the context of the Global Britain and the UK's new Platinum Partnership scheme with the Commonwealth family of nations. He also appreciated Sri Lanka's inclusion as a beneficiary country in the recently announced Developing Country Trading Scheme of the UK.
The Colombo South Division Criminal Investigation Bureau has arrested 3 more suspects who allegedly entered the temple trees and damaged its property on the 9th of July. Meanwhile, 2 activists of the Aragalaya were summoned before the CID this morning.
Actors Champika Priyadarshana and Oshanta Prasad Dabre, who were active members in the Aragalaya, were summoned before the CID today. They're accusing me of invading the Prime Minister's office, destroying property and stealing equipment. All I had in hand was the national flag. They can't brand us as terrorists just because we have a national flag or even a black flag with us. We didn't come here to destroy state property. We only came here demanding a better Sri Lanka. I feel they're trying to pin this on me because they couldn't come up with any other allegation against me.
The Met Department says that showers will occur at times in the Sabaragamu province and in Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Matara districts. Several spells of showers will occur in the western and northwestern provinces as well. Fairly heavy showers above 50 millimeters may occur at some places in Sabaragamu province and Kandy, Nuwara, Kalutara, Galle and Matara districts. The Department of Irrigation also said the flood situation witnessed along several rivers is gradually receding.
The Nuwara District Disaster Management Centre said that spill gates of the Lakshapana and Canyon reservoirs that were opened remain open. Its Assistant Director Ranjit Alhakon told Newsfirst that those living in low-lying areas must remain vigilant. Floodwaters in Bulat Sinhala are gradually receding. However, several roads remain inundated as one spill gate of the Kukuleganga reservoir remains open. Although floodwaters were reducing in many areas, transportation came to a standstill. The Colombo-Biagama road remains closed due to floodwaters.
Sri Lanka's Attorney General has noted that there is no requirement to implement the recommendations made by the Presidential Commission of Political Persecution that alleged wrongdoing on the part of President Ranil Wickremesinghe Anurakumara Dissanayake and other political leaders. NPP leader Anurakumara Dissanayake requested that the Attorney General's observation be informed to the court.
Anurakumara Dissanayake, the leader of the National People's Power, said the Presidential Commission of Political Persecution had recommended to file legal action and stiff the civic rights of those it found accountable. He said that the Presidential Commission, led by retired Supreme Court Judge Upali Abiratna, had recommended to take action against him, the sitting president and other political leaders. He said that the incumbent president has been found guilty of wrongdoing by a presidential commission, and the report calls for his civic rights to be taken away and for legal action to be filed. Anurakumara Dissanayake alleged that at the presidential commission, the prosecutor from the Attorney General's department was placed in the dock for questioning by the council, appearing for avant-garde, of which Nisanka Senadipati was to be prosecuted. He slammed the presidential commission for taking the powers of all law enforcement agencies to meet our punishments.
A report about 2 more death traps in Kurunegala have surfaced just days after a 14-year-old boy died trapped in a storm drain during a heavy downpour.
The construction work on a tunnel system adjacent to the 2 main schools in the Kurunegala town commenced about 2 years ago. However, parents allege that construction work has come to a standstill and these sites pose a threat to the lives of their children. According to the parents, these tunnels are flooded during a downpour, and during the rainy season the situation is worse. Parents state that even though the project has been scrapped due to financial constraints in the country, it is paramount to set up a protection barrier to ensure the safety of the passers-by.
The construction of a bridge in Maggona has been suspended, and this poses a great risk to commuters.
The Maggona town and the Berwala town are linked by the Idirilla bridge. The bridge, which is over 60 years old, was in need of repair, and thereafter the Road Development Authority started construction of the new bridge around 5 years ago. What is now seen in the town is not a bridge but a sham. The local residents are demanding that this bridge be constructed as soon as possible.
Gammadda placed the foundation stone for the construction of a water purification system at the Silver Candy Tamil Vidyalayam, which is located in Valapane, Nuwara.
The Silver Candy Tamil Vidyalayam is located in a remote part of the Nuwara district, and almost all the students here are from families that depend on the tea plantations for their survival. The main issue identified at the Silver Candy Tamil Vidyalayam, which educates approximately 500 students, is the lack of access to clean drinking water. This in turn has posed serious health challenges to the teachers and the students alike. The Gammadda door-to-door campaign in 2020 came across this school and experienced the harsh conditions faced by these students and teachers. Gammadda stepped in to construct a water purification system for the Silver Candy Tamil Vidyalayam with the contributions made by Airline Pilots Guild of Sri Lanka.
Sirasa TV and the Education Ministry joined hands to launch a program to create one of the longest paintings in Sri Lanka. The painting will be designed by school students, and today's leg took place at the Batticaloa district.
United We Stand is the theme for the longest painting by Sri Lankan school children that is being created for World Children's Day 2022, which falls on the 1st of October. This work of art is expected to be 1,000 feet long, and the launch of the painting took place at the Independence Square in Colombo recently. And today, children from St. Michael's National School added colour to the canvas. 2 paintings from each of the 25 districts will be brought together to create one massive painting.
Sri Lankan author Shehan Karunatilaka has been nominated for an internationally accredited Booker Prize for the second time. He was previously nominated for his novel China Man, The Legend of Pradeep Matthew, and he has been nominated for his latest novel, The Moons of Mali Almeida. Shehan Karunatilaka is considered one of Sri Lanka's foremost authors. In addition to his novels, he has written rock songs, screenplays and travel stories. He emerged on the world literary stage in 2011. Then he won the Commonwealth Prize, the DCSL, and a prize for his debut novel, China Man. The European Union is proposing to make it more expensive and harder for Russian citizens to get visas. Russians wanting to enter the EU will face a lengthy application process and see fees rise from €35 to €80.
The EU Commission said this should continue as long as Moscow wages its war of aggression against Ukraine. More than 1 million Russians have travelled to EU countries since the invasion of Ukraine in February. EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen tweeted that the visa agreement between the EU and Russia should be suspended as there can be no businesses as usual with Russia. Under the EU-Russia visa agreement, Russians had for 15 years enjoyed a streamlined process for getting EU visas.
Sri Lanka defeated India in its second Super 4 match in the Asia Cup 2022 in Dubai by 6 wickets. With this, India is almost out of the tournament as it lost to Pakistan in its previous match. India's journey in the series depends on Afghanistan's performance against Pakistan on Wednesday.
After losing the toss, the Indian batters made a sloppy start and lost KL Rahul to Mahesh Theekshana and then followed the wicket of Virat Kohli to Sri Lankan bowler Dilshan Madhushankar. However, Indian skipper Rohit Sharma held the ground with Suryakumar Yadav for a good partnership, crossing the mark of 100 in just 12 overs.
He's gone too far across, Huda.
Following this, the Indian batting collapsed, but India managed to put up 173 runs in 20 overs for 8 wickets. For Sri Lanka, Dilshan Madhushankar emerged as the most successful bowler with 3 wickets, while Chamik Karnaratne and Dasun Shanaka took 2 wickets each. Pathum Nishankar scored an important 52 runs in 37 balls, while Kusal Mendis scored 57 runs off 37.
Oh, it's the quicker one. The puncture in his wrists.
Like in the previous match against Pakistan, Indian bowlers hardly managed to impress and failed to take early wickets. Spinner Yuzvendra Chahal took 3 wickets, while Ravichandran Ashwin dismissed Danushka Gunatilaka.
And he makes his ground. Sri Lanka win. And what a way to get the winning runs. All 3 stumps on show.
Let's have a look at how the Sri Lankan team celebrated their victory. Sri Lankan hard-hitting middle-order batsman Bhanuka Rajapaksa made the following comments regarding the win against India as well as the next match against Pakistan on Friday.
Special, and lots of people didn't have the belief that we will win the game or will be able to compete in this series, but it's, as a team, I think we have come a long way looking back in the last couple of years. So I'm very proud of the win with the boys. We were underdogs from the time that we came to UAE. I think we were sort of underdogs. We all know how good Pakistan and India on their day, so we had less pressure, and all we wanted is to prove a point to the whole world, especially to our nation, because with all the crises happening back home, this is the only thing that we could bring some smile to their faces. So we all wanted to play as a team and get these wins together. So going to the Pakistan match, it's going to be a very crucial game because 90% chances of both teams qualifying for the finals. So this will be like a good matchup around Friday, and looking forward for a great final after that. Going to the World Cup, we have a really good chance of clinching the World Cup, and any team would come with the hope of lifting that trophy. That would be the ultimate goal. So going to the World Cup, we have a pretty strong side, and we have good hope.
Several members of the Sri Lanka Legends squad for Road Safety World Series left the island. The Road Safety World Series is scheduled to be played between the September 10th and the 1st of October. One group of the Sri Lanka Legends squad left for India on Monday, and the remaining members left on Tuesday. Tilakaratna Dilshan will lead the Sri Lanka Legends team that includes veterans Chaminda Was, Sana Jayasuriya, Upul Tharanga, Damika Prasad and Chamara Silva. Before we wrap up this edition of Lunchtime News, let's have a look at footage recorded by Newsfirst correspondents in Polonnaruwa of a wild elephants, including calves, grazing the Gallella Valley. And that's a wrap of Lunchtime News for today. Thank you for joining. For all these stories and much more, you can visit our website www.newsfirst.lk. Thank you and have yourself a great day ahead.
ඇත්ත කෙටියෙන් දත්ත වැඩියෙන් සයිබර් අවකාශයේ කලබන වුවත් සලකුණ News First YouTube channel අදම subscribe කරන්න. News First